Hey, how's it going? Thanks so much for checking out this video. My name is Ray. There's one of me, and I don't have any gear in my hand. That's because this is the results of the battle of the TikTok Shop guitars. I'm actually going to do this in two categories to make it fair. And the first category is going to be humbucker equipped guitars. And then obviously the second category is going to be all the Strat copy three single coil pickup guitars. I think that would make it more fair to give it a fair fight. So because I have less of them, let's start off with the humbucker equipped guitars, starting with the Glarry flame-shaped electric guitar. I've had a kind of a love-hate relationship with this guitar if you've been following along with my content from the unboxing to the demo. I love the shape of this guitar. I think it's super fun. I would go on record to say I actually like the shape of this more than I like the BC Rich. Yeah, that's a hot take maybe, but I like the shape of this more than a BC Rich. I think this is cooler. I would own a guitar in this shape over a BC Rich. I love the color. The paint is really good. So from there, actually the neck on this one, the back of it is very like V-shaped, which is interesting. It's got a very like tapered edge to it. It's kind of an interesting feeling neck, and it's super thin profile, which makes it really really clumsy for me to play. But maybe you would have much better luck with it, especially if you're a beginner guitar player. So when I first got this out of the box, if you saw my unboxing video, I had to lower the action quite a bit. I intonated this as best as I could. It's still not, I'm like all the way up to the end. Actually, I went so far up that when I was demoing this, the B string, the pin and the spring all popped right out of it. So I can't get any more, closer to intonation. So this is as far as it goes. So it's still going to be out of tune on the high notes. It's kind of in tune around the 12th fret though, so you can kind of get away with it. So where would I put this? Again, I would say that this is okay for a beginner. If this is something that you want to pick up because you like the shape of it, you like the color of it, inspires you to play and practice and take lessons or learn on YouTube or teach yourself, then this is a perfect beginner guitar. Would I go any farther than that? I wouldn't really even recommend playing a gig with this. I really wouldn't recommend recording with it. It's just a fun first guitar for a kid to have, or an adult who's looking to get into guitar and doesn't want to spend a lot. So that's where I would go with this. The other one I did was the Garrett Valley series. Kind of Les Paul style, kind of a Les Paul special, Les Paul Junior style with a slab body. It is a bolt-on though, unlike a Les Paul that's got a through, kind of the set-in neck is what it's called, I think. This one's got some proper weight to it. Some people don't like heavier guitars. When a guitar is a little heavy, it's actually reassuring to me that it's got a little more quality to it. And to tell you the truth, on this guitar, I think the pickups sound great. I did have to raise them up quite a bit to get more output, but I do think they sound good. The coil split is super rad. That's really rare to have on such a inexpensive guitar. Everything works great. The volume and tone, it stays in tune. This one for me would be an A+ guitar for the price if you could perfectly intonate it. You cannot get this perfectly intonated. It actually has the opposite problem. This one's too flat, this one's too sharp. So when you play up high, it's gonna be a little out of tune. It's not too bad around the 12th fret. So again, this would be, if you're looking for two humbucker, single cutaway, Les Paul style guitar for a beginner, this is an amazing bargain for a beginner. This is actually this would be a really nice guitar. I would argue this is probably better than my first guitar that I had. It was like an Epiphone Strat knockoff. This might be better than that. I would even recommend gigging with this. I'm talking like your first gigs, like you're playing your living room, you're playing a basement party, outdoor barbecue, like you're just getting started, or you're not even in the clubs yet. Those kind of gigs is what I mean by that. Your first shows ever. I would recommend that. Recording, again, that intonation is going to drive your producer mad. It's going to drive your bandmates mad. So I wouldn't recommend recording with it, but you could definitely thrash out a lot with this one, have some fun, learn a lot of licks, you could probably get pretty good playing on this thing for a while, and then graduate to a more expensive guitar later. So as far as which one of the humbucker equipped guitars wins, it's really no contest. It is the Garrett Valley Series double humbucker. This thing definitely beats this by far. This might have some cool looks. You might think that this one looks kind of like dad rock and boomer Ben kind of guitar. This one might be a little bit more, you know, thrashy metal, but this is a better, higher quality guitar. And I actually make more in commission off this than I do off of this. So I'm actually shooting myself in the foot by saying this is better, but you know, unapologetically, this is much better. I would say this is probably like a B plus guitar. This is like a C minus D, you know, and that's being fair, like being nice. So this is probably B plus. This is like a D, C minus D. All right, on to the 3 pickup S-style guitars. I guess I'll start with this one here. Now, this one's also, it doesn't say glary. It's actually, it was given to me by a company called Kataxin, but Kataxin does the glary stuff too. My understanding is that it's all the same bodies. They actually even sell kits of these where you can just buy the body, the neck, and you can put it together yourself. I've actually seen 3 brands. I've seen Kataxin, Glary, and there's a third brand, Vinasium. I can't remember. It started with a V, I believe. They're all the same thing. They're all the same company as far as I know. So this, I would say, is much, much, much better than the flame-shaped guitar by Glary. This is a lot better. This is definitely getting there. This has got one of the better feeling necks of the S-style, Strat-style guitars. It really has an amazing neck. I love that it's kind of got a kind of a mapley thing. I love that it's satin finish. You don't get that gunky, you know, where you're getting on the lacquer and stuff. Yet again, man, it's the same problem. You can't perfectly intonate it. If you could perfectly intonate this guitar, it would definitely, I think it would be a B plus, B, solid B, B plus. Yeah, because the only reason why I wouldn't give it an A is because, again, the pickups are really low output. You would really have to raise them up a lot. And there's some things that are kind of clumsy about it. But overall, this isn't bad. So let me put a, let me table this one for a second. This one is super light. It's not really that heavy, but it's not too bad. It's definitely heavier than the flame-shaped. Let's go on now to the Stritch, which this one, again, this one, like the Garrett Valley series, this one feels like a proper electric guitar. It's got some weight to it. It feels like something you would pull off the wall at your local guitar store, music shop. This one would be an A plus if it could intonate. Do you see a pattern here? I feel like a broken record. I feel like I keep saying the same thing. All of these guitars so far cannot be perfectly intonated. They get close, at the 12th fret, it's not too far off, but if you get up to the 17th, you're out of tune. I had to raise the pickups too on this one, and the pickups are weird. They're not balanced. Like, each string might be a different volume. Like your high E string might be super, a lot of volume, and then the B string has like no volume. So these pickups are really kind of strange. I would definitely swap out the pickups. This would be the first in the TikTok shop that maybe I would recommend modding. I think it's got a nice enough body and neck. I feel like just the wood of this guitar is quality enough that, hell yeah, make a Frankenstrat out of this thing. I think this would be a good enough platform to get started with that. I wouldn't really recommend the other ones so far. I wouldn't recommend to Frankenstein them. I think you should just hold out for the next guitar. Maybe the Garrett Valley series, you might be able to Frankenstein that one a bit. But this one, I would say, yeah, go for it. All right, so on to the first electric guitar that I ever got as a free sample. And it's hard. This is like, I don't want to sound biased because this is the first one I ever got. Because I'll be honest with you guys, I thought I gave these guys a glowing review. And then I asked if they could send me, they had like a Les Paul style guitar and they had a Telecaster guitar, and they totally turned me down for both of those. So, you know what I mean? I was lucky I got this, which I was really happy with. This is the first one I ever got ever, which actually started this humble career of demoing guitars. And I'll never forget that. I'll always be grateful for that. But yeah, as soon as I got this one, they're like, yeah, feck off with the other two. I'm like, okay, guys, sorry. I gave them like such good reviews, man. And that being said, I swear to God, I'm not just saying this. This one is the only one that I've ever gotten from the TikTok shop that this one can It can be intonated all the way up. Also, the action on this is the best. You might be like, well, hey, you didn't play this one in the Battle of the TikTok Shop Guitars this week. I have played this one already. I did an unboxing video, and I also did a full demo of this. So if you go on my channel, or I'll put a little link in the description, or you know, if I can do one of those like tags up here, I have already demoed this, and I have been playing it again just to see where it holds up. This one is definitely, so all right, let me do this. As far as the, how am I going to do this? I can't hold all three at the same time. All right, here we go. As far as the Strat style guitars, I would put the Kataxin Glary in third place. The Stritch is between the Stritch and the Licks Pro, it's very, very tight. And I think the Licks Pro edges out the Stritch just because, for one thing, it has the best action that I really didn't even have to adjust. I mean, I adjusted to my taste, but out of the box, it played fine. So out of the box, it was great action, and you could intonate it. The tuning is pretty good, it's stable. The pickups sound the best in this, I think, too. All the electronics. The only thing, though, that is weird on this one, and it might just be that I need to replace this jack. Don't use a right angle instrument cable with this because it's going to get stuck in here, and you're going to have to get the Jaws of Life to pull out your instrument cable. It's happened to me a couple times. I totally forgot. Plugged in a right angle cable, and I could barely get it out. That's the weirdest thing. So use a straight cable, and you might be able to get it in and out. That's the weirdest thing about this. So otherwise, this one would be not even an A+. This would be like in the stratosphere as far as value for what you're getting. This one is very playable. You could actually record with this and it would actually be in tune. You actually could get away with playing your first shows ever with this, maybe even a small bar gig. I will put my reputation on that. This one is super light. I do think the body of the Stritch is way better than this one, but this one plays and is more of an instrument that stays in tune and is actually playable at more of a professional level. This is more a beginner level still, if that makes sense. So there you have it, man. As far as the TikTok Shop guitars that I've ever done, I would say the two winners by far, this is what you should go with. If you want a two humbucker guitar that can be coil split, go with the Garrett Valley series. And if you want your Strat style guitar, I would go with the Licks Pro. I think this is a CS series, they call it. And hell, if you wanted to have a Strat and a Les Paul style guitar, you could get both of them for like what? Not even $300, less than $300 for two guitars. So you better do it now though, because after January 19th, I think, this might all be going away, man. And this whole career I'm trying to do, where it comes to doing, you know, I'm a songwriter, a live looping artist. I play shows for a living, but I'm trying to add gear entertainer and gear demo reviewer to the, you know, to my resume. And I'm so grateful for this opportunity. And it would suck so much if they do ban the TikTok. And this is just yet another door that's closed in my face as a musician. If you're a creative type, you know what I mean. And just the frustration of you're doing everything right, and then something that's out of your control comes in and just bam, done. You know what I mean? Like, screw you, you don't get to do this anymore. So if you guys do pick one up, I do get a small commission. I've made about $100 so far in commission selling these guitars. My best selling guitar is actually this one, the ST Stylish. I've sold like 5 of these or 6 of these. It's crazy. And I do get more commission for this one, and I didn't even rate it as the top. I put it in third place. So I'm actually kind of shooting myself in the foot here. But yeah, the Licks Pro, the Garrett, you really can't go wrong as far as a beginner guitar that you might be able to, you know, play your first shows with. You know, it's amazing how inexpensive you can make a guitar and it's still halfway decent. So, all right, this has been a lot of fun to make, guys. I really hope you've enjoyed the battle of the TikTok Shop guitars. If you have, please like, share, subscribe, ring the bell. I'll be putting out tons more content. With that money I made from the TikTok Shop, I actually bought a guitar amp that I will be reviewing, and I don't want to give too much away, but it's a tube amp. So yes, Mr. Digital ME90 guy bought a tube amp. So stay tuned to that. That should be one of my next demos. Real quick before I go, I'm going to shout out the patrons: Chuck Johnson, K. Ritchie, Hexkin Papa, Duke McDonald. They're amazing. Patreon.com/OneRayMusic. You guys are amazing, man. Just keep watching and commenting, and I'll get right back to you with the responses to the comments. Take care, and I'll see you soon. All right, bye.